join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Since we last met, 31 people have been killed in mass shootings. I just think we should take a moment to reflect upon the loss of life and the efforts of our first responders to address that, and let's hope that our federally elected officials can somehow or other resolve this tragedy. Thank you.
Okay. It's always a pleasure to start off these meetings with promotions. It's always good to do. So I'm going to consider a motion to appoint Police Sergeant Rob Mazzei as Police Lieutenant for a salary of $148,117, effective on August 14, 2019. I'm going to administer the oath of office.
Should I make a motion?
We need a motion.
I make a motion.
Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? 6-0. Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and to carry out the duties of Lieutenant of the Dobbs Ferry Police Department to the best of your ability? I do.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank Chief Rivera for giving me this awesome opportunity. I appreciate it very much, and also to the Mayor and Village Board. I appreciate it. To all my colleagues, thank you for coming out. My family traveled near and far, former colleagues. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to moving forward and serving the village residents in this capacity. Thank you. Oh, my wife Rachel, I forgot the last
used to be in
my
the
wife
couch
Rachel
tonight.
puts up with a lot, especially when I was on the midnight for a year and a half. Sometimes I'm in it. Thank you, everybody.
So we're going to bring, why don't you bring your wife up? And Rachel, your daughter, and they can pin the Chief, you want to come up? Bob was actually a member of the force for 29 years, right? 28 years. Actually, one more. He promoted in 2013 to detective.
Yes.
And then sergeant in 2017.
Yep.
And you live in family up in Yorktown? Mega.
Up in the whole pack. My wife is from the village. She grew up on Delaware.
Oh, great.
And my mother-in-law also grew up here. So
Fantastic.
28 years ago, I had no idea where Dobbs Ferry was.
You're doing well. We'll take a picture. All right. 1 minute.
Yeah, cheers out. Cheers out. Get too close. Aw, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get another.
Hold on.
Great. Thanks. Okay, I'd like consider a motion to appoint police officer Joseph Palladino as police sergeant for a salary of $132,246, effective August 14th, 2019. Motion. Trustee Gill, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell. All in favor? That's Joe. Joe's from Yorktown, went to Yorktown High, Westchester Community, State University of New York. Now we're the mayor back. Now you're the mayor back. Quite a few people. Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and to carry out the duties of sergeant of the Dobbs Ferry Police Department to the best of your ability?
First, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity, also Mayor McLaughlin and the village board. To the members of the police department who are here, you guys are the reason why it's such an honor to be a sergeant in the police department, so thank you. My family's here, so my mom and dad, my two brothers, my brother's wife, Caroline, and this is my fiancée, Stacy. We are getting married in October. Stands to a great year.
Oh, yeah. Mom and Dad want to come up? You all right to walk? Want to come up? That's great. Yeah.
That's why I didn't think he'd have to do it for.
Okay, I'd like to consider a motion to appoint Mr. John Stone as Assistant Building Inspector for a salary of $59,309, effective August 14th, 2019. Motion. Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? John here? John, come on up. John, you've been part-time, right?
Yes. Since March.
6 months? March. Nice to meet you. And you doing your courses for building?
Finished with 3, I had 3 left to go.
You're halfway there. Fantastic. And 20 years experience.
More than 20 in my own business.
Wow.
He's already working very hard.
Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and carry out the duties of Assistant Building Inspector of the Village of Dobbs Ferry to the best of your ability? Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor, and hello to all the board members and administrators. Tonight, my wife Maria is with me, and she's been very supportive of my career change. I would like to thank Ed Manley, Charlene Delicato, and the Board of Trustees I will continue to learn a great deal from Ed and look forward to it. Thank you all.
All right, let's try to cheer. I think that would. Ed, let's go ahead. This is getting shut down.
Oh, that's not a good thing.
And after you, she's messing with one of us, so yeah. Maybe you can push me aside. The picture goes up, it's better. Vinny, I don't know.
It has a new title of
Give me this, please, it's making after that for becoming the official village photographer
Thank you.
without being a union member.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations, welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, welcome. Congratulations.
Okay, that's always great. Now we're going to have a presentation by the Sustainability Task Force on the Heat Smart Program. Nina, are you going to do that? How are you, Nina?
I'm very well.
Always good to see you.
How are you? So we're really happy to be here this evening. Joey Staluppi and Bonnie Mazzei, and Patty Steinschneider is not going to be presenting, but he's working on this effort as well.
I did bring something, but she told me I can't.
It's 25 pages.
So I'm a member of the Sustainability Task Force here at Dobbs Ferry, and I'm also part of the team that is working to implement the Heat Smart program in Westchester County. And Elisa Fassman, the chair of the Sustainability Task Force, is going to be very much helping to lead this effort as well, along with Joey and Bonnie. She's on vacation this week, so I'm really filling in for her. So you're going to hear some details about the Heat Smart program, which is designed to make it easier for people to adopt clean heating and cooling technologies. But you should know that it's modeled on the Authorize Westchester program, which the village participated in a few years ago. We had 22 municipalities in Westchester County participate in Solarize during the 3 years that we ran the program here in Westchester County. And the Hastings and Dobbs Ferry campaign was extraordinarily successful. I think based on the population, probably more successful than any other program in Westchester County. So the team that is running Heat Smart here in Westchester was very thrilled that Dobbs Ferry and Hastings applied to be part of this program. This is going to be the second Heat Smart campaign in Westchester County. It's only been done once before in Bedford, Lewisboro, and Pound Ridge, where it's going really well. And this is a program that is going to help Dobbs Ferry achieve some of the goals of that New York State has established through the recent Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act, which was adopted, that sets really rigorous standards for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and phasing out the use of fossil fuels. So Heat Smart, again, makes it easier for people to switch from fossil fuels for heating over to systems that run on electricity. And then because we are including community solar as part of the offerings at Heat Smart, it's going to help people in the village save money on their electricity bills and drive the transition to renewable energy on the local Con Ed grid. The final piece about it is that Sustainable Westchester, which is the lead in implementing the Heat Smart campaigns along with Energize New York, is making a donation back to communities that participate in these campaigns of $50 for each Heat Smart Smart program or project that's implemented, and $50 for each community solar enrollment that happens during the course of this campaign. So that can be a nice, modest source of funds for the village to implement some additional sustainability actions going forward. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Joey and Bonnie, who are going to give you more details about how the program will work.
Thanks, Nina.
Thank you for having us. I'm Bonnie Mazzei. I'm a resident in the village and a volunteer on the Be Smart campaign. And as Nina said, we really just want to tell you a little bit more about what the campaign is, highlight some key dates.
Bonnie, can you speak into the
We're going to tell you. Does this even work?
Yeah, pull it up.
The people at home. So we want to just highlight a little bit, tell you a little bit more about what the campaign is, highlight a few key dates tonight, and make an ask. So what is Heat Smart? It is really an outreach and awareness building campaign. It lasts for 6 months, and we're working to encourage energy efficiency through climate-friendly ground and air source heating and cooling technologies. These technologies will reduce energy consumption, cut greenhouse gas emissions, so essentially we're replacing gas or fossil fuel heating with these new technologies, and they can also help homeowners reduce their energy bills, both through electrifying and using things like community solar, but these are also more efficient heating units, so you get more bang for your buck, essentially. And they ultimately help homeowners increase their comfort and safety, particularly safety when we're not using gas in our homes, and the value of their homes as we move forward. So our mission here, and the mission of Heat Smart more generally, is to inform local homeowners about the benefits that come with clean energy choices. So that's what we will be working on, and it's really through building and servicing demand. So we're trying to increase awareness and demand, as well as help people connect to suppliers. So we will be, Joey will talk a little bit more about this, but we also vet some of the companies so that people know where to turn when they're ready to do this, and work to displace high-cost fossil fuel heat with energy efficiency. Joey?
Yeah. So I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the technology. In the mic. Yeah. I will sound here. And then talk about our campaign, 6-month campaign. So it's clean heating and cooling, and this comes from geothermal and air-sourced heat pumps. So this is a very basic diagram talking about the geothermal heating and cooling. So essentially what is happening is we're utilizing the constant temperatures underneath the Earth's surfaces, and we're essentially moving that air from the house underground. But what comes first with that, first I'll talk about how this is all viable alternatives to the traditional, whether it be oil or natural gas. We're trying to transition to a renewable energy grid. And as I said, it's just moving this air around. So what I do not have there is a diagram of the air source heat pumps, but they're just electrifying the ambient air outside. It's the same concept, just moving air in and out. So no need to combust anything. It's all renewable and it's all eco-friendly. Well, we save some money as well. So this would be great if we could pair it with all the people who signed up for Solarize, and it would be great since now we do the community choice aggregation. So almost all of the residents, unless they've opted out, now get renewable energy. There's a lot of good that can happen. A large chunk of greenhouse gas emissions can be negated in Dobbs Ferry, and we will act as an example in the Westchester County. As you can see in this chart, it is quite a substantial amount of greenhouse gas emissions that come from heating and cooling, and also water heating. You can see around 75% of a resident's greenhouse gas emissions comes from this avenue, and then the rest is electricity. So right now we're doing great. We have Solarize, we have community choice aggregation. That little chunk is good, but we can get all of that renewably sourced. And according to NYSERDA, I found a statistic that claims that 32% of New York State's combustion related to greenhouse gas emissions comes from heating and cooling. So this is a substantial chunk of New York State's greenhouse gas emissions. So if we can make the most of this 6 months, we're really gonna make some significant progress. And what also comes with that, because it's all fine and dandy that we're doing this incredible work, there are also quite a bit of rebates, incentives, and other financial things that people will love. And it's going to depend on which option people choose and other things. But for the most part, I think Nina might be able to explain more about those. We're going to be getting training with Sustainable Westchester, so we can feel confident with that. But there is a lot of other financial incentives aside from saving money on the electricity bill.
Right.
So what are the steps? First, you're going to sign up and you're going to apply for a home energy assessment. So what happens is a HeatSmart approved contractor will come in and they will give your home a free energy audit. So they're going to pressurize the house and they're going to find out where the leakage is happening, because we don't want to waste all this energy. And they'll also use, this is just some of the pictures that I borrowed from the Bedford campaign, Bedford 2020. So after that, they're going to provide a detailed report outlining the results and recommendations. And they will pair that with the clean heating and cooling technology and financing options that make the most sense for that specific household. I'm sure everyone in this room has a different situation in their house. And then we're going to go towards improvements, and we're going to actually reinstall these technologies. And it's going to lead to improved comfort all over the household, every room, cost savings, and most importantly, the reduced greenhouse gas emissions. So our team for the 6-month campaign, Elisa and I will be co-leading it. I'm going to handle the messaging and overall management of the project. Elisa will be the government liaison. And aside from that, there are events that we're going to be doing, tabling, outreach, we're going to have signage, banners, we're going to get involved with the local media, social media. We're just trying to get this information to as many residents as possible so they can understand and take advantage of this window of opportunity. So it's going to be incredible. We have a good amount of volunteers, but we always are looking for more. So if anyone knows of anyone who's looking to volunteer for a clean, sustainable future, but don't want to, maybe they only have 6 months on their hands, let us know. I have my business card. And our timeline, the website will be live very soon, and people will start to be able to sign up for this information. We're going to have a campaign launch event soon. I'll get to that in a minute. And then the campaign ends around 6 months from, I guess, September, around the end of March. And with that, we're also rolling out Community Solar as a paired outreach campaign. You're essentially, with Community Solar, subscribing to a credit, a discounted credit for your renewable energy. You get a 10% discount. And, as I said, and with that, with every installation for HeatSmart and with every subscription for Community Solar, the Village of Dobbs Ferry will receive that $50 bonus, and we are requesting that these funds could be utilized by the Sustainability Task Force, because there are a lot of different instances where our members need to pay out of pocket for different things, whether it be flyers, or whether it be food for events, or whether it be the subscription to the website every year, stuff like that. So these could be used for our purposes. And moving forward, this is a joint village campaign, the 6-month campaign. We're with Hastings. So we're going to have a joint meeting where we're going to be getting trained by Sustainable Westchester to really feel confident in talking about what this technology is, what the incentives are, and how to make the most of this opportunity. This will be happening, I believe, on August 20th, and it's coordinated by the Sustainability Westchester organization. So it's out of our hands. And we're going to be having our Dobbs Ferry HeatSmart launch event on September 26th, most likely at the Dobbs Ferry Library, because that might be the best open space for us, the community space for us to use. We'll probably bring food, and we'll have a presentation similar to this one, but a little bit more precise with what these people, these residents are actually going to be signing up for. And we'll probably have the contractors there to tell more about their side of things. So we're just about done. I believe all of our interviews have been conducted for these 2 clean heating and cooling contractors. So I believe it's Dandelion for the geothermal. That's pretty unanimous with all of Sustainable Westchester's HeatSmart program. And I believe that we just finished up with finish those up. And this is very much a collaborative effort between our volunteers. We're all going to take on and lead two events each, and then everyone else will provide some assistance with an additional 4. That way everyone is supported. It's just a neighbor-to-neighbor, word-of-mouth thing where we want everyone to know what this technology is. And aside from that, I thank you guys for your time. Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph. Nina and Bonnie, thank you also. It looks like it's going to be beneficial for everyone to at least take a look at this. I know our geography here is, I know on my, where I live, there's a lot of rock. That's good?
So just so I understand it, and I'm not a science person, but so there's heat that's below the ground, and we're going to tap into that heat that happens naturally? Is that what generally?
Yes.
Okay.
Good enough. The back of your refrigerator is hot.
Right.
Because it removes the heat from inside. So if you think of the okay.
Make sure the mic's on.
How's that? Good? Okay. I've done this about 500 or 600 times, and this might be the first time anybody understands what I'm talking about. There's heat in air. Until you get down to like 250 degrees below zero, there's heat in air. So what you're doing is you're absorbing the heat from the air or from the ground, compressing it, bringing it into the house. It's being used then to heat the air that's inside your house or to cool. You absorb the heat from inside the house, take it out. You don't chill a refrigerator. What you do is you remove the heat that's inside the box, and then you feel it on the back. If you imagine your house working like that, it's wintertime, we're taking the heat out of the ground or out of the air, and we're releasing it inside the house. Heat, think of heat like salt. In salt water, if you evaporate all the water, you're left with salt. The salt is like the heat. It's always in the air, it's always in water, anything, and we can absorb it and make it use. Does that sound okay, Shirley?
That sounds good.
I do have one suggestion you guys may be thinking about but haven't mentioned, would be that late September launch date might coordinate very well with trying to do something through the schools, who often are emphasizing environmental education. So either with the backpack stuff or, Lisa's email list or something, to get the kids involved in helping to push this project might make sense.
Great.
I was asking Nina about this, because there's these initiatives, there's Sustainable Westchester, or Solarize Westchester, and Heat Smart, and then the community aggregate thing. And then I get things in the mail that are none of those things, that seem like they're those things, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to sign up for, and I'm not sure what's like trying to fool me, and I'm hoping we can, I don't know if there's anything we can do with like having a Village of Dobbs Ferry thing that's on communications that come out, or something that like proves that it's legit versus spam mail, because I am part of all of these discussions and I'm still confused as to like why I keep getting things in the mail that's telling me to sign up for, this eco-friendly choice of energy, and I'm like, but we did that, didn't we do that? I didn't understand, so I had Nina talk me down, but if I'm confused, I can't imagine, well, not that I'm any genius, but like I'm involved and I'm listening and I'm still confused, so.
Yes, so that comes from, the reason for the confusion comes from a range of different factors. One is that there are parties that are not part of any of these efforts that are communicating in ways that are slightly deceptive, that are designed to look like they are official government programs and to make people think that they are representing programs that the local government has chosen to participate in.
Right.
So that's a
Well, like I just want everyone, like I want the residents to know, these are the things that we are supporting. These are the things that have to do with village volunteers and village organizations, and these are not what isn't, but being more clear what is,
Well, what we did with, and you can correct me, Nina, if I'm wrong, but with the community choice aggregation program, is the entire village opted in.
Right, and that's what I
Unless
thought,
you
and-
actually opt out, it's happening automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't need to respond to.
But I got some letters that were like, you're automatically opted in, you can decide to opt
It's
out.
got the same name.
And then there's other ones that have similar sounding things that are like.
Well,
you
what
can
they're
opt
trying to
out.
do
It's
is
just
they're trying to
confusing.
convince you to go
To
into,
use
to
their
switch into
service.
something. And everybody has to make their own choice about it. But what we talked about and as a board voted on was what we feel is the best
yeah.
choice, both for price and for sustainability. And that's the automatic option, which you can just tear up if you
Right.
think that was a good choice, what comes in your mail.
Yeah, yes. And
So tear it up.
over
Tear it
the
up.
course of the Eat Smart campaign, there will be the opportunity for more communication about all of these energy programs to
Right.
help clarify for people and to provide the opportunity to answer people's questions, because a lot of people still do have questions.
Yeah.
as the
And like, if it was
communication is
just
coming
easy,
from
everybody would just do it,
sources.
you know?
Yes, yes.
Great.
So, I mean, Mayor Board, I can also work with the task force and, send out email blasts, at least like notifying people of, entities we are working with or supportive of.
Yeah.
So, try to get the word out somehow, because, I mean, anybody could steal the village seal and put it on a.
Right. And as soon as I wrote it down, I
Communication,
was
so-
like, that's on.
So if we send something out, and then also in the past, we did have them, residents were able to call Sustainable Westchester and say, hey, is this legit, what I just got in the mail?
Right.
So we have that
Great.
as well.
Thanks, Liz. Nina, thank you.
Thank you.
Bonnie, thank you. Joseph, good job.
Thank you, guys.
Patty, thank you. Okay. We have courtesy of the floor, so if anybody wants to address the board, they can. Bob, you can come up, but I just want to make a statement. The place to get information on the village is not really out on Facebook. We have public hearings. If you take 41 Cedar Street as an example, the project there, there's information going out about it that, could be misleading to people. And that's not really the place to get information. The place to get information is from the village itself. You can watch our meetings, you can watch the planning board, architectural and the historical review board, zoning board, the actual board of trustee meetings. And that's where you should get, your actual information. People, say things sometimes out there on Facebook that is completely off base, and it leads other people to start building on that. And it's really just, driving people to waste a lot of time and effort trying to get the right information out there. So we urge you to do that.
I just want to point
Go
out
ahead,
on
Don.
41 Cedar, because I'm the liaison to the planning board, if anybody is interested in what the most recent plans are on that, there was a very extensive, comprehensive presentation done by the developer at the last planning board meeting on August 8th. It is online now, right, Liz?
On the
Yes.
website,
On the
yeah.
website, Dobbsbury.com, you go to Dobbsbury TV, go to the planning board, you can see the meeting, you can see the presentation, because what was presented on Facebook is not exactly what the developer presented at that meeting. And there will be more hearings on that at the AHRB, et cetera. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that if you're interested in seeing what those plans look like, go to the planning board meeting.
Or you can see it on the website,
On the website. Well, that's, I
right?
mean, yeah, the planning board meeting on the
Yeah.
website, yeah.
Okay. Bob?
Radomski, Ogden Avenue. Before I start reading this, I'd like to make a statement. Planning board and the ARB.
AHR.
Board. Okay. The reason you have a podium here and I talk to you from here is because if I say something here that I don't like what you said, it makes a difference when I stand up there and get in your face and say, I don't like what you said. It's now a little bit of intimidation. And we shouldn't allow anyone to stand up there and talk to you people. They should be here like everyone else. Okay, that's my statement. And I don't believe it should happen again. And if it continues, I'm gonna stand anywhere in this room and talk what I want, like everyone else should. You have a protocol here, and it should be met. That said, I hope it doesn't happen again. Rivertown Square was supposed, I hate reading this thing. Rivertown Square was supposed to be an upscale development. Biggest selling point for the approval was the Sundance Theater. Robert Redford was going to meet and greet everyone, move to Dobbs Ferry and run for mayor. Everyone was so excited.
You must be disappointed you got me instead, Bob.
No, I'm not. I'd rather have you. At the last planning board meeting, I stated we should do some long-range planning for when the development goes bankrupt. I also mentioned this after the last board of trustee meeting. I hate to put you on the spot, Mr. Mayor, but you told me it's not gonna happen.
And it's not gonna happen.
Well,
It took less than a month for my concerns to come true. We now have an empty supermarket and a movie theater filing for bankruptcy. What do we do with these empty buildings now? Why do you think the original development sold out so quickly? It's not a viable place yet. It's going down. I would like to take it, I would take all night to go over all the broken verbal agreements, the statements made by the developer and all the others. But we have a written agreement on the number of hotel units allowed, and as I stated before, we don't need to allow what Bardsley is now trying to get rid of. This is not an amendment to a site plan, it's already built. This is a new part of the construction. One other thing. Whatever happened to the idea about having the mayors, past mayors on an oversight committee? They might remember some of the costly mistakes made and try not to make them again. One more thing. Since we're not going to be paving Ogden Avenue the whole thing, and I don't know why, can we at least fix the water leaks on the end before they pave over them? They're going to pave over a water leak from Beacon Hill to, and all you have to do is call the water company. And if they don't answer you, call the Public Service Commission. That's how they get their raises. Thank you for listening.
all right, thanks, Bob. Just a comment about Rivertown Square. We do meet periodically with the management of Rivertown Square. And I think it's obvious that the market, Brooklyn market, wasn't able to make a go of it. IPIC has announced restructuring, but that doesn't mean that they're going out of business. They're still going to be in operation. In our most recent meeting, they actually, when you look at the whole development, they have very few vacancies when you look at it from a holistic. Yeah. Well, if you look at the south side, where all of those businesses are doing very well. The Hilton's doing very well. They're at 80% occupancy. Yeah, okay. But we do stay on top of that, Bob. Thanks.
Bob, I have to mention something in reference to your comment about Ardsley Motel, the Hilton Hotel. You are speaking to night and day. I have worked for Hilton. Hilton standards is one of the highest in the market. I work for Marriott, and I have worked for Hilton. That hotel has to go through so many standards, so many audits to maintain those doors open. So I assure you, and I personally know the staff and the management there before they even came into this facility, and the comparison is unrealistic. That hotel, the way that they operate, is my business. I've been doing it for 25 years. They do an upstanding job, has a very good reputation, and as Bob mentioned, they are doing fantastic in this market. So honestly, your fears, I can tell you that they're not found. You don't have nothing to worry about. That hotel is an upscale hotel. It will never become a motel because Hilton will never allow it.
I agree with you at this point, but you can't tell me what's going to happen in 10 years.
Well, I can only share with you what I know.
You can't tell me that, because no one thought that this movie theater was gonna go under this fast.
And in the
Don't
last
even try
meeting,
to tell me that, because you can't predict the future.
so let me share something with you. Just in the last meeting that we had with them, which I asked a question considering of news, and they say that they actually generate above average income in that particular property. So because the company as an overall is going through what it's going through, it is not affecting really this particular location.
What happens
Bob.
when things go bad?
I'm sorry?
What happens when things go bad?
Everything goes bad when
That's
things go
right.
bad. Everything, not just
That's
Rivertown
right.
Square.
That's right.
Everything.
And we could end
The
up with
wheel
a
go
mess just
bad.
like they have in ours.
And the whole village can go into that.
Excuse, Bob, we'll talk about it offline, thanks. Patty, you want to address the board?
Hopefully safely. We are in August. We are less than 2 months from the Ferry Festa. So it is time for everybody to be getting their applications in. We've been getting a lot of good calls. I think we've got sign-ups. I haven't seen anything yet because it takes them a while before they get it out. But just from the number of the 4 or 5 calls I get every day, people asking if they're allowed to do this, if they're allowed to do that. I think it looks like we're doing really well. And get your applications in and let's start to get ready to have fun.
Thank you for all you do with the Ferry Festa, too. It's been a great thing for the village. And happy birthday. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday. Patty, if I could sing, I would sing happy birthday, but I don't think you want to.
Please.
Anyone else like to address the board? No? Okay. Okay, I'd like to take a motion to approve the resolution for 41 Cedar Street to declare the village as the lead agency under SEQRA.
Could someone explain exactly?
Yeah,
what
I can explain it. The project is considered an action subject to SEQRA. You referred it to the planning board, and it's been referred to the county. Before anything formal can happen, you have to declare yourselves lead agency. You're the only approving entity on this project, so you don't need to circulate an intent to declare yourself. You can formally declare yourself to be the lead agent. It's a ministerial process. It's very cut and dried. Eventually, this is going to project will come back to you after the planning board and the AHRB with their recommendations, and you'll hold your own public hearings and make a decision. But SEQRA requires you to declare a lead agency as quickly into the process, and its appropriate time is now, and we put it on for ministerial action.
So as you pointed out, we will be very transparent. There'll be open public meetings and hearings on this.
Can you just, SEQRA is a law that requires us to go through an environmental.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, the criteria that you have to review. On your behalf, I requested from the applicant a long-form environmental assessment form. That has been received. We'll enter it into the record when the project comes back to you. We'll have all the information available that we'll need to move forward.
Great.
So just to be as clear as we can, this is part of our taking control of this development process.
And the review, the environmental factors.
The environmental review.
Yeah.
And we're at the very beginning of this process, not anywhere near the conclusion.
Correct.
So there will be many opportunities for public input. There have been opportunities already, and there will be many more.
Yes. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Lori Lee. So do I have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Rosillo, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to authorize execution of a professional services agreement with Jennifer Patillo for services in connection with the role of coalition coordinator for the Dobbs Ferry Youth Services Council Coalition. Charlene, did you want to, or Maura, did you want to make any comment on this?
This is a professional services contract as a consultant. This is a title, and there's a jobs description in the backup materials on the agenda. We recently had a vacancy come up. You have reviewed a qualified individual's resume, and it's been recommended that you move forward to provide this agreement so she can assume the role. She will work very closely. As you can see, the role is very closely defined, very detailed, and so before she can begin to function in this capacity, you need to enter into a professional services.
Yeah, I see she worked for Hastings.
She
the
did.
last 3 years.
She was the assistant to the administrator in Hastings.
That's
yeah.
great. Okay. Terrific. So do I have a motion? Trustee DeRossi, second. Trustee Rosillo, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion authorizing Ms. Charlene Indelicato, Village Administrator, to sign the prisoner transportation agreement with the Westchester County Department of Correction. This basically is a renewal with an increase in the rates?
Yes,
Charlene?
that's basically it.
Great.
And for certain areas, they pay more if in fact they're taking violent felons, et cetera. But usually it's a
Standard.
rate for basically just the gas.
Great. Okay. Do I have a motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Rosillo, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to authorize the village administrator to enter into an agreement with Rivertowns Public Market for an event to be held September 14th at Waterfront Park. So this is a memorandum of understanding?
Yes, it is, sir.
It's a memorandum of
Of
agreement.
agreement.
Yeah, a memorandum of understanding is sort of preliminary, but this is an actual agreement setting forth the roles and responsibilities vis-a-vis the Rivertowns Public Market event in
Okay.
September.
Rivertown Public Market.
Rivertown. Yeah.
Singular.
Okay.
And this event is facilitated by the Rivertowns Chamber of Commerce.
Great. Do I have a motion? Anybody want to make, no motion? Trustee Taylor, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? 6-0.
This was a great event last year. For anyone who didn't make it last year, who's available in mid-September, it was a wonderful way to showcase the village, and many, many village residents enjoyed it, as did many from our neighboring villages.
Yeah, it was a very, very successful event. There was a big crowd there the whole day. I think they ran out of food, right, at some point.
That's why they have VIP passes this year.
That's the first hour?
They're selling passes to go first. So
Right.
that you don't have to go in the line.
So I'd like to take a motion to approve the Hudson River Anchorage resolution, which is basically a letter to our state and federal representatives to prevent docking of vessels between Yonkers and I think Kingston. Right, Charlene, isn't that?
Yes, because there has been certain findings by the Army Corps of Engineers stating that that they will limit the barging in the Hudson River in these areas, and this is just a resolution in favor of that finding.
Essentially, this is a follow-up to something the village was weighed in on 2 or 3 years ago when there were numerous proposals to create anchorage sites for primarily oil tanking barges along the Hudson River, including along the stretch of the river in front of the village of Dobbs Ferry.
Right.
If you're looking for a...
Trustee Taylor, second. Deputy Mayor Cassell, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a resolution calling for a public hearing September 10th, on September 10th, 2019, to consider an amendment to the site plan for 201 Ogden Avenue, which is the Hilton Garden Inn. And I think, as was mentioned earlier, they're taking 5 existing, I think, 2-bedroom suites and converting them to 10 one-room
Regular guest rooms?
suite.
Yes.
Guest rooms.
But this is just to make
This is just the public hearing.
Yeah.
And it's, and we should encourage anyone who has questions, who wants to hear what the Hilton Garden is proposing in more detail, to come to the meeting, and if one has opinions, to express them.
Okay, motion, trustee Nell, second, trustee Zerazi, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve audits 1, 2, 3, and 4 for August 2019 as recommended by the village treasurer. Jeff, any comments?
No
Trustee? Trustee Taylor, second, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to approve fiscal year-end budget transfers for the budget year ending May 31st, 2019, as recommended by the village treasurer. And this is normal at the end of our fiscal year, which runs.
An annual process.
Right.
To close up the books and, get it ready for the auditors to come and take a look at it.
And the auditors are coming in, I think, right?
Next week.
Next week. Perfect timing. So do I have a motion? Trustee Zerazi, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to authorize the DPW to sell the 2004 Chevy Trailblazer and 2006 Ford Econoline as surplus equipment on Auctions International. I think we got the useful life out of these two. So do I have a motion? Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor?
And I just make a very quick observation that this is part of a plan on the DPW and the village's part to try and get rid of vehicles when the maintenance costs start to really skyrocket, and it becomes more difficult to maintain the vehicle and more expensive than getting a new vehicle, which is it needs far less maintenance and is safer.
Great.
And the deals that these guys find, they blow my mind away because they really know their stuff and they always make such a win with the sales. I'm very impressed with them.
It's not quite on a 5-year turnover, but we're getting close.
Yeah, we're moving along with that. Consider a motion to approve a request from Tracy Foley to have a block party on Saturday, September 7th, 2019, on Shady Lane from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. Late one.
Wow.
I'll have to stop by.
Party on Shady
Have to
Lane.
stop. Okay. Motion, Deputy Mayor Cassell, second. Trustee Nell, all in favor? 6-0. Consider a motion to ratify approval of a request from Miss Melissa Thompson for a block party on Devoe Street, which occurred on July 28th, 2019. So this is after the fact.
It didn't go wrong.
How was it?
I think the only thing that went wrong was that she was late to make the last meeting deadline. Although I believe this group did reach out to us, even though it was too late
Yeah.
to seek permission.
You're just ratifying this.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Great motion. Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Taylor, all in favor? 6-0. Okay, I guess we had a request from, is it Rivertowns Public Market?
Yes.
To hang banners in various locations around the village.
Yes.
And I guess we could,
We'd have to amend the agenda.
we'd have to amend the agenda, right? Laurie, Lee? On this
Yes.
Rivertown Public Market
Sure.
banners.
You're always welcome to add new business to your agenda, so it's routine and ministerial. There's no need to amend with a vote, but you should vote on the request to hang the banners.
So do we need a motion to amend and a motion to
No.
approve?
No,
No.
it's ministerial, yep.
Okay. So,
I would just say that to be sure that they're doing it in coordination with the village staff, because there are some other banners that are already up and some juggling, but I'm quite sure they'll work with the village staff, but that should be, they should do it with the village staff.
Right, with the approval of the village staff.
Yeah,
perhaps, something like that.
coordination
Yeah,
of the village staff.
coordination.
okay. So do we know where they're going?
I think Liz knows where some of them are going. It's the usual places.
The usual spots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on that, so we'll, have that taken care
Okay. All right, so I'll take a motion for the Rivertowns Public Market team, I guess, to work with the village staff to hang those banners in various locations around the village. All right, motion. Trustee Rosillo, second. Trustee Taylor. All in favor? Unanimous? Or I guess 6-0. Yeah.
6-0.
Okay, so we have the minutes from July 16th, 2019. Any comments? You take a motion to approve the minutes. Trustee Nell, second. Trustee Rosillo, all in favor? Reports and announcements. Trustee DeRossi?
Nothing for me, just a big welcome for Jennifer to join the council. Looking forward to working with her.
Great. Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Nell?
Always looking for volunteers.
Did you want to mention the Downtown Improvement Committee meeting, task force, public?
There's nothing to announce.
Yeah.
I've been reaching out to the individuals who have been involved to see who wants to be on an ongoing committee.
Right,
And,
okay.
hope to have a list of names to run by you.
Great.
Before our next meeting.
Terrific. Trustee Taylor?
Just one thing to mention. In the last week or so, it was announced that Fran McEachran, who was a longtime civic leader in Hastings on Hudson, including having served on the school board and having been mayor, the first female mayor at Hastings on Hudson, passed away. She was very involved in the community for a very long time and helped do a lot of wonderful things. And if you're at the Hastings Waterfront Park, it's named after her.
Great. Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Rizzo?
I don't have anything.
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I have senior movie, Monday movie on Monday, August 26th, will be Brooklyn, and it will start at 12:45. There's popcorn, and there'll be a lot more stuff to announce as the fall gets started, but that's what we have right now is senior movie
That's great.
on the 26th.
Great movie,
Great
too.
movie.
Very
Yeah,
good
very
movie.
good.
Yeah.
They're getting some very good movies there.
Yeah, yeah. So we have, tomorrow night, again, we have music on the waterfront. In addition to the movie Monday, we have movies at the library. We also have libraries having an end of summer celebration on August 23rd. We mentioned the public, Rivertowns Public Market, 9/14. Patty mentioned the Ferry Festa on 10/5. And we also have on Sunday, the 18th, the Road to Freedom, which starts at 1 o'clock, Gould Park. They march through the village, down the aqueduct to the Historical Society, where there'll be a proclamation. So that's an annual event, and look forward to it.
What time is that, Bob?
Starts at 1. The march starts at 1, and we should be at the, I hope, the Historical Society by 2 o'clock. Okay. So let's keep Dobbs Ferry safe, clean, and fun. Can I take a motion to adjourn the
To keep
meeting?
Dobbs Ferry safe, clean, and fun?
Yes. Trustee Taylor, Deputy Mayor Cassell.